We're going to go back here and take a look at Sven. Sven is a Northman trader and fantastic at market tops to be following his work. Really, he's obviously known as a perma bear, and he is bearish on the, let's call it the economy. All right. Listen, if you're not familiar with NorthmanTrader.com, you can follow him on Twitter. I do. And the last time that I was really following Sven was all the way back in late February. You know, again, towards market tops, fantastic analysis to be finding. There's a lot of people leaving comments that August is going to be ugly. We looked at seasonally why July, and specifically going into this week of July, you know, markets are historically over the past 5, 10, and 15 years very, very bullish. And August, not so much. We could see a little pullback now coming up in the following weeks, but calling a top and that the markets are going to crash in August. You know, I just shared an interview with Sven and Raul Pao, the founder of Real Vision, both of them extraordinarily bearish on the economy. And both of them were like, listen, this is an impossible market to short. You just can't short this market. There's no reason to. So there you go. You have two of the hungriest bears right there licking their lips, watching the price action. Both of them also technicians. And no, there's just no play to the downside. Let's take a look what's going on here. Technically, by the way, for those of you looking to extend this trend line over here, right? Of course, I know that a lot of you have been asking me to do so. And yeah, this certainly is running up into resistance right over here. Again, I'm trying to actually, and why I'm not leaning into this, I'm trying to get people from not picking tops and looking to be counter trend to the markets, because it's that strong running current and you want to be riding with it, not against it. Now that was different. You know, as the market was in a completely different set of circumstances over here. I mean, look at this. We were leaning into resistance over here, not just the trend line resistance, also horizontal resistance at the time. Once we bursted through the upper trend line, right over here, this portion of the range back in early June. Once we bursted through there, at that point, I've been less inclined to lean towards these and selling in general over here. Now, what's the plan over here? Markets are down barely, 0.5%. S&P is currently down. Let's take a look over here. You got the ES down, 0.3%. The Dow down also. 0.3%, and the Nasdaq down 1%. So let's take a look at the Nasdaq as it's leading over here to the downside, and it looks absolutely very controlled. And this is a pullback. When you start leaning into the Nasdaq, I've been focused in on the S&P 500. Are you coming into any support? Yep, you're into support over here. How far have you pulled back off the high over here? Let's say that's not a double top, 3.71%. We had seen back in June, we saw a retrace of 7.7%. That was the biggest one since we've seen one pullback of 5%, right? And then another of 5%. Two pullbacks of 5%. This one's 6%. Two pullbacks of 5% since. So, how much of a pullback do I think we will see here on the index? The indexes look really good. They look really healthy. The first indication that we are rolling over, where we will now be looking to play the downside and protect ourselves, will be a break of this lower trend line over here. Currently not in play, and currently looking to buy all retraces into support as we are in this uptrend, looking for a test possibly this week. Tomorrow's Friday, or early next week, or next week into the 33.20. That's our next target we have over here ever since breaking the 32.32 resistance. And again, you could see that so far we continue to make swing highs and higher swing highs and lower swing lows. Will that continue, or are we due for a retrace? The markets are not that very exciting right now. What's exciting is obviously what's happening in precious metals. You see, and I've spoken about that rotation coming into the cryptocurrency markets, into Bitcoin. You've seen Ethereum actually up 8% yesterday, and now another 5% today. You're seeing that happen in Linked after buying the dip in Linked. It's rising, and Bitcoin here again is only right now. Bitcoin is only $200, $220 from breaking out the trend line that will take it to the start of its bull market. This is the top, the all-time high. This is going back to the June 2019 all-time high. And then we hit that same trend line back in May of 2020. Here we are getting ready to break above it. That will be the start of the bull market. We're getting close. You're seeing that rotate. By the way, silver's holding on to some nice gains today. I saw that the Robinhood users went to the SLV, the ETF for silver, is now the 16th most held position on Robinhood. The significance of that and why that is important. We were looking at it the day before yesterday. It was like the 200th something most popular. And we said, watch the move of Robinhood investors into precious metals. They're going to be also behind Bitcoin. What's interesting is that you have hedge funds like Citadel, which are following the order flow of the Robinhood users. If they start going after precious metals, right, what's going to happen to these institutions? Are they going to start piling in, trying to front run, as they always do, the Robinhood orders? Are we going to see gold, a little FOMO because of that as well? And wait until they start getting into Bitcoin. And wait until they start getting, once Bitcoin starts taking off, they'll be there. They're the momentum chasers. They're not the ones looking for to get ahead of the curve over there. So that's where we are. Markets are healthily, as if that's a word. The markets are down today, and it is uber healthy. You could see those who have been tracking each movement, the rejection of the resistance over here that you've been watching, right? And that's completely in play. I get it. Over here at the top peak, though, where we've peaked through once, twice, 3 times before. 1, 2, 3 times before we've been above this trend line. That will take us into the 33.20 resistance. That's my target right now. Plan is still, as long as 32.32 holds, a resumption upwards is a good entry, as well as a retrace over here into this local support somewhere around 31.87. That's a good place to look for a buy, as in the trend line. And then down over here, we still are looking for further upside here, for further buy sides of the trade. All right, so we're seeing over here right now into the close here that the SnP is currently holding the 32.32 support over here. You could see that was the big resistance that we finally broke through. We're coming down and we're testing that breakout right now, looking for that to hold. Remember, it's overnight. You normally see most of the gains take place on the S&P 500. Let's see if that's what we see tonight, offering an entry on higher highs, or whether or not this is the start of a more prolonged pullback. Maybe we're gonna come down further. Maybe we have the center of this range over here, where this trend line is coming in the center of that range is down over here at 32. That's also some support over here going down to this last move over here in July. And of course, we have some bigger levels to lean off of, all the way down here at 31.23. We are looking for pullbacks to buy. What type of pullback this is right over here? Is this something that we're going to resume off of overnight and be back up, challenging the highs, challenging this week's high just tomorrow going into the weekend? Or are we looking at Friday being more of a sell-off today? You're looking at some decent ranges today. You're looking at a sell-off on the S&P, the Dow, and the Nasdaq. Well, S&P and Dow both 1.2%. Nasdaq down 2.3% over here. And you could see down into some support over here. Now, that's not to say that we're not going lower, that we're not, or I don't know what's going to happen. I'm looking to buy off of support, and this is nothing more than a pullback to lean into and to buy into. You're seeing the dollar, by the way, not really participating. It's not as if the dollar started strengthening or there was this flight into any type of risk. Didn't see that happening, so I don't believe. What we did see happening, though, we saw gold making gains on the day, right? Off its highs, but making nice gains on the day. And then you also saw Bitcoin up and then all of crypto. So you see a flow out of equities right now. You're seeing actually precious metals and Bitcoin holding steady. Silver is down 2.4% today, but that's after being up, what was it, 7-8% yesterday. So it is consolidating its gains. Any type of resumption upwards, you have to think there could still be more room in this run here to run up. If not, if we don't go on to make a higher high, test this 2350 area, what's going to happen is we're going to be consolidating. We'll look for silver to consolidate probably for some time, come back in, and probably build a base somewhere off 22 before looking for its next leg up. Bitcoin is just right now $300 off trading off the trend line that if it breaks, the bull market begins. Could you imagine? Bitcoin is only $300 off beginning a new bull market. That could easily happen as Asia gets going today. That could easily happen overnight, or tomorrow into the weekend. You're a few $100s off breaking the trend line that will set Bitcoin off to the new all-time high. Be aware of that. I love this little tweet here. The market's closed down. S&P, like we just said, 1.23%. Nasdaq down 2.3% and Dow 1.3%. And boom, not so much, considering the move to the upside. There was something else that I did want to show with you. This is interesting. By the way, gold, the long-term golden cross versus the S&P has taken place. The last time that has happened has been 1970, 1978, and 2002. Equities, in my opinion, are one of the riskiest trades you could be taking right now. Equities, in my opinion, is one of the riskiest trades you could be taking right now. Let's look over here at some charts. Let's look here as the FANG stocks. You could see that they are leaning down into this area of support. And if they break that, of course, another leg down is coming. Not too much to really get concerned about at this point, in my opinion. Bitcoin, you could see, was bid all day, making constant legs up. It wasn't just Bitcoin, though. It's been Ethereum the last few days really starting to surge. It was up actually 8%, 8.5% yesterday, then another 4% today. Those are big moves. Ethereum getting ready to take out the 2020 high. It is coming into it right now. Above there, the next resistance is all the way up at $350. The dollar, and it is a dollar story. The dollar was lower again today. It was kind of volatile. Sharply up this morning, a couple hours before New York came in, sharply sold off, and then bid up again, but still closing lower than yesterday. We're watching the dollar. We're watching for when we think we have opportunities to sell into it and or when it might be reversing. Here's a look at the Bloomberg Dollar Index. You could see that is coming into some support right there. It's really important the dollar holds here. If the dollar doesn't hold here, then we're going to be making a big move. I have a feeling, although we'll be tracking it as we get into August, we're going to take a good long break here, as everyone is, from the equity markets. We'll follow what's exciting. FX has been trending lovely, and we've gotten a lot of people into this long Euro-US dollar. When I say we've gotten a lot of people in, we share the analysis here, and then people make their own decisions, against their own. We helped everyone recognize, how about that we were breaking out of this trend line over here. This 12-year trend line broke to the upside, and that really has been a one-way straight up shot headed towards its ultimate target right now, coming in at 1.17. So that's been a nice trade as we're seeing the dollar weaken. Could we break that trend line? We'll be looking at that together, of course. I don't think on the initial spike into it that we break it. What I think is then that we then consolidate, and then maybe sometime in September or October are able to go ahead and break out over there. I think that we see some further dollar weakness, especially headed into the election. Again, more stimulus coming. Treasury sitting on $1.8 trillion in cash. We're seeing the dollar being repriced, taking out the spike low of March right now. I think that next 94 is the next level to look at on the DXY. Silver looks good. Gold Gold getting close to the all-time high over here. Let me zoom out a second. It's circled over there. The all-time high is just $30 away on gold over at 1920. Now, I do believe at some point in that circle, let me put that circle over here. You know, I think that circle that we're in right now, at any point we could see a rejection here on gold, a little bit of a retrace. What that looks like, I hope it's a 5 to 7% retrace. That would be a nice opportunity to, let me fix that up for you so I could see it better at least. What is that? This is a 7% increase taking us back towards 770. A 5% right now would take us back towards 1800, a little lower. Those, in my opinion, will be buying opportunities. Normally what happens is you come into that all-time high, sometime around it, you see a pretty sharp rejection. I'm looking for that sharp rejection. And then after it makes that new high again, then I'm looking for the big run to come on gold. So that is coming soon. Plenty of time to position it. There's no need to FOMO on silver, on gold. Right now, I think what we're going to see is a rotation out of the precious metals. And I think they're going to consolidate their gains. We talked about, right, where we could see a sharp pullback as we start making new all-time highs over here. But I think we might see a rotation right now into, and I've been talking about it, into Bitcoin and therefore crypto, as we've seen the equity markets, we've seen the precious metals. Now it looks like it might be crypto's turn here for the next leg up, and that's going to take place. Inflating some asset. It looks like money's going to be flowing into crypto next. All right, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, thanks for being here all the way to the end. Please go ahead and support the channel. Smash that like button. Go ahead and leave some comments and share your insight below. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. Thanks for being a part of the community. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day, everyone.